faced like really similar teams already throughout the tournament.
Yes, he'll be prepared.
Yeah, whereas Davide might have not seen something similar like Kyogre, Yveltal, Bronzong and Togedemaru on Wolf's side. I'm really curious what those players are going to bring. Obviously, Davide wants that Groudon. He wants to deal enough damage where a Precipice Blades can just clear out, but might be a special one as well.
Yeah, Precipice Blade's always a dangerous one, and you can see on the screen there a Pokemon that loves to use that move paired up with that Xerneas. You've got Davide on your screen there. We've mentioned it before, World Day 2 in 2017, 2018. That is no easy task at all, and quite an accolade to have, as well as being the Leipzig runner-up in 2017, and also getting top 8 at the European International back in 2017 as well.
No stranger at all.
No, he's definitely experienced on this international stage, so it looks like that this is the first time he's made it through to the top 8 stage, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can take it to finals.
And then, of course, we got Wolf's accomplishments. Everybody knows that he got the world champion in 2016, and we've seen the video about Wolf, where he talked about his journey, right? And in the meanwhile, he just does really well, and he's one of those opponents. You know, he's one of the best players in the world, and he's always 2 steps ahead and always plans throughout the whole match, and he knows what to do to execute his win. He's not just playing and let's take this KO and this KO. He's planning, okay, what do I have to really do to secure my win?
He's got amazing vision in the game. He can really see how all the pieces slot together and every single inevitability that will happen in such a short time frame as well. It's an absolute skill to master. But here we are, top 4 of the Masters European International Championships here in Berlin. You can see Davide there on your left and Wolf on your right-hand side.
All right. Davide already locked in his moves, his Pokemon, sorry. Wolf is still thinking about what to bring in this matchup. But of course, Wolf got several more options. Like he got the Trick Room, he got Skill Swap. Those are tools that Davide is missing, and Davide relies on his board position by switching with really hard switches or going with U-turn with Incineroar, and maybe Wolf wants to capitalize on that and bring that Mega Gengar with Shadow Tag and deny Davide to do so.
Exactly, there's all sorts of speed control options here. Like you said, you've got the Trick Room on the Bronzong and the Yveltal as well, with Tailwind if you want to maybe go for a speedier option. It's all going to come down to which Pokemon Davide brings out and how Wolf is going to adjust. But you know, no matter what Pokemon he starts with, he's going to have a plan going forward. But it's going to be the Kyogre and the Gengar for Wolfe Glick. As you can see already, the Gengar here going to Primal Revert, going to bring the Primordial Sea onto the field, going to stop any fire-type moves coming out potentially, but you've got Incineroar and Amoonguss on there, so Amoonguss actually kind of appreciating the brain a little bit, but Gengar going to be looking to trap in these Pokemon. Yeah,
this is already really interestingly, like Wolf wanted to lock the board as soon as possible.
Yes.
Lead with that Mega Gengar, get off the Mega Evolution, I guess, and bring in Kyogre in case Davide was leading with, for example, Groudon. He could just bring his own Rain because he plays a really slow Kyogre, and now this lead is also favoring Wolf because Davide doesn't want to U-turn out because he could get locked into when Kyogre protects and Gengar protects. He wants to preserve his Amoonguss a little bit better. Groudon is now actually coming straight up in to set up the Sun in favor of the Rain. And there you go.
Yeah, I think that's a good switch in from Davide there. Not only does he get the sum up, but as well the Amoonguss doesn't want to stay trapped in and potentially taunted by that Gengar, then unable to use any redirection or any Spore, leaving sort of Kyogre free to start whittling away at it with maybe some Ice Beams or any water type damage if that Groudon wasn't on the field. But now that it is, Kyogre is going to be limited to what moveset it's got. Of course, will have the ability to switch it out later on, but at the moment, Davide has no option to switch out his Pokemon unless that Incineroar wants to go for a U-turn. Gengar, however, going straight for a Sludge Bomb, going to hit that Groudon that just came in, does a little amount of damage there, as Kyogre does go for an Ice Beam, so predicted the switch in, but goes straight into Groudon. Does a good amount of damage, taking it down to only 45, but I think Gengar's kind of sacrificed itself here a little bit.
Oh yeah, and there it goes, the possibility to lock Davide's Pokemon in. This looked like, oh, this is a really good turn for Wolf because he does really good damage on Groudon and he might pick it up later on. But this malicious Moonsault is actually really scary for the Gengar. If it goes down to it, then this was a really good turn for Davide.
Yeah, I love that cheeky little grin on Incineroar as well in that animation. It knows that it has got the better of Gengar, and Wolfe Glick will lose Gengar on just turn 1. He does still have the Kyogre out on the field, and I think going for the Ice Beam was a good cover. Even if he hadn't switched in the Groudon, the Amoonguss would have been there, and that's a Pokemon that doesn't want to take any ice damage at all either. But now that the sun's up, he has got to think of a way to maybe get that rain back on his side, and Bronzong doesn't want to be in the sunshine at the moment.
I know where Wolfe is coming from, like getting damage on the Groudon as soon as possible. I guess he predicted that switch in to lower the HP bar from Groudon a lot, because it's a special variant, and Eruption only deals good damage when you're at full health. Let's have a look how much it actually does to Bronzong.
Oh no, it only does about a third damage there. So Bronzong really being able to hang on here, maybe wants to get the Trick Room up and then can go for Skill Swap in the next turn and get that Sunshine back up. In fact, doesn't even have to worry right now. The Sunshine has gone. Sorry, it wants to get the Rain up, of course it does. But Incineroar now going for the Darkest Lariat, so this is also going to hit that Bronzong quite hard, as it does have the Psychic typing. Is it enough though? It is enough to pick up the KO. Wolfe down to his last 2 Pokemon very quickly in this top 4 game, but at least he has got rid of the Groudon, so he's able to utilize Water-type moves once again.
And now it's all coming down to what Pokemon Wolfe got in the bag. Is that Pokemon able to take out that Amoonguss? Kyogre has obviously no problem to take out the Incineroar if he wants to target the Amoonguss with Ice Beam. There you go, Incineroar is a really clever choice over here. I'm not used to games from Wolfe where he just trades Pokemon at the beginning, but it brought himself in a quite good position.
Yeah, he seems to be playing this top 4 game really powerfully, going highly on the offense. But bringing Incineroar in here not only gets the Intimidate on the opposing Incineroar that is going to be dealing too much damage, maybe Darkest Lariat, but as well, you can now have the Fake Out to stop Amoonguss going for a potential Spore, because I don't think one Ice Beam from Kyogre is going to be enough at this stage. You are going to need to hit Amoonguss twice for this, so very wise from Amoonguss here to go for the Protect, just trying to burn that Fake Out and not leave itself really vulnerable. As you can see, Fake Out went exactly into that slot, as Kyogre actually instead goes for the Water Spout, so it would have only done an amount of chip to that Amoonguss anyway, maybe to follow up with the Ice Beam in the next turn. And as you can see, it's more than enough for that Incineroar.
And I think there still might be the Xerneas in the back for Davide. So this is going to be the task for for Wolfe to go through. Like if Davide decides to set up a Geomancy, its special attack rises, but also does its special defense. And this is where it comes down to how much can the Kyogre damage the Xerneas, or is it straight up starting chipping the Kyogre to lower the damage output from Water Spout.
Exactly. Even if you want to maybe try and target down that Xerneas with a powerful Water type of move, you're going to be leaving the Amoonguss relatively untouched. It can take those Water type of moves for a very, very long time, leaving it free to maybe go for a Spore back in return, just to put the Kyogre to sleep, or even can just start dealing out some damage, go for a powerful Grass Knot, let's say. Kyogre is a very heavy Pokemon, does not appreciate taking that, particularly as the Xerneas has clicked Geomancy and it's boosting up. It really doesn't need Kyogre to be sleeping, to be honest. It's going to be able to start picking up some KOs, but any damage that Amoonguss can help it out with will certainly be appreciated. But it looks like Davide's really put himself in a position to sort of sweep through the end of this game 1.
Any damage or any Spore. And there we go. Wolfe opted for the Ice Beam just in case he gets a lucky freeze on that, and Amoonguss is going for the Spore. Being faster than the Incineroar actually. He goes for Throat Chop into the Amoonguss just to chip it without taking recoil damage.
Yeah, I think that's a really smart play there by Wolfe, just not taking any recoil there at all, and just going to whittle down that Amoonguss a little bit further. But Xerneas is in its prime at the moment, fires off a powerful Moonblast into that opposing Kyogre, still going to be taking a little bit of a sleep, and Amoonguss able to go for another Spore here. Very interesting, the speed of this Amoonguss, very, very fast, but it's really working out for him in this position. He's sort of really tied Wolfe down. There's nothing he can do. Even the little Amoonguss is looking at his Incineroar, sort of saying, I know you're a fire type, but I've got tricks up my sleeve as well. But at this position as well, Xerneas is just looking so strong. Even a Dazzling Gleam will pick up the KO against Kyogre at this stage, and then it's just a case of whittling your way through the rest of Incineroar. Going for the Rage Powder though here on Amoonguss, just redirecting any attacks from when they wake up.
Yeah, when they wake up, when Kyogre tries to Ice Beam you, but this game is already over. That Amoonguss can Spore Incineroar anytime he wakes up, and there's still the boost to Xerneas. And now both players, I guess, are already thinking about what to do next game.
Yeah, I think that's why Wolfe has played out these last couple of sleep games as well, just to gain every couple of seconds to really think about what he can change going into game 2. Xerneas, they're going to fire off a Moonblast to be able to take out game 1 here in top 4. Amazing play there by Davide, and I think Wolfe, even though we were saying he's gone quite high on the offense here, and it's a little bit of a different change-up for him. You can hear the crowd cheering as well for Davide. The Italians are here in force today, Sebi. But I think Wolfe, you said you're not really used to him trading away Pokemon. Maybe that didn't work out for him so much here. Losing the Gengar so early on didn't give him much control over Davide's ball positioning.
Like, I think matchup-wise, a Eruption and special-based Groudon is something Wolfe kind of struggles with, because he really needs the rain to be up, and Davide really denied that and denied the speed control. There was no Trick Room in play, and Davide was open for, okay, let's trade Pokemon because I got Xerneas in the back, and you have to deal with that later on. Wolfe just couldn't handle that later on.
I think he lost 2 of his good Pokemon early on. He lost the Gengar and then the Bronzong as well, being doubled into with the Eruption. Took the Eruption actually really well. So it looked kind of good for him in that position, but with the Incineroar not being intimidated in any way, just sort of went through with the Darkest Lariat and just was able to pick up the KO there. So unfortunately, Bronzong wasn't able to be utilized too much on Wolfe's team there, but it is a Pokemon that can be really versatile for him. If he can get that Trick Room up, if he could get that Skill Swab up onto that Kyogre and get the Rain always on the field, so he's able to hit hard with some Origin Pulses or any other Water-type moves and apply pressure to Davide's team, that would put him in a much stronger position. But he does just have to preserve his Pokemon a little better.
Yeah, especially after now knowing that Amoonguss is like really fast, outspeeding that Incineroar. The Trick Room makes more sense, like stressing it on that way, because he knows, okay, I got the slower Pokemon, I can still Skill Swap. Is there a way to bring that up really safely for Wolfe? This is, and how he's going to achieve that, this is what we're going to see now.
That's the thing, you normally see Amoonguss as quite a good Trick Room counter, because it is really slow, but looking at the fact that it outspeeds the Incineroar outside of Trick Room, Incineroar in Trick Room is going to be really good. Even if you've got the Rain up, we saw how much damage the Dark-type moves were doing to Amoonguss as well, so you could whittle your way through that Pokemon as well. But here we are, game 2. It's all to play for at the moment. These 2 players are playing for a spot in the finals here at the European International Championships. The concentration is real. You can see it there on Davide's face. He is 1 game up. He is only 1 game away from getting a spot in that final, and he's going to try and do it with the Incineroar and Amoonguss, whereas Wolfe has gone for the Kyogre and the Togedemaru.
Again, Kyogre leading off for Wolfe, which is again interesting, but we do know that this Togedemaru got access to U-turn, where he might just straight up switch out Kyogre, U-turn out. On the other hand, Davide again leading with Amoonguss and Incineroar, which is like really clever. He denies that potential of Kyogre firing off Water Spouts and denies that potential of like what Wolfe usually does best is like positioning, and if Amoonguss starts sporing, positioning doesn't help you.
Well, he switches out the Kyogre straight away, maybe predicting that Groudon was going to come in, so wants to make sure that he's got that Rain in the back for later. Brings in his own Incineroar, putting an Intimidate onto the opposing one, maybe to help out the Togedemaru a little bit if there is something like a Flare Blitz going into that slot. Groudon, though, coming in, though, for Davide, so a good call there by Wolfe to bring out his Kyogre so he's able to utilize it later on. But for the moment, the sun is going to be on the field. My question, though, is what's going to happen to this Amoonguss? Is Togedemaru just going for a fake out into that slot?
I think so. I think this is what Wolfe is going to plan. Like, he brought in that Incineroar to have, again, fake out pressure, to be able to switch the Kyogre in freely. And Amoonguss is not going for any Spore at all. He's going for a Protect. Davide knowing that it's really key to winning this game, but this was again, I think this was like really clever positioning. Wolfe got Incineroar in, is able to fake to pressure with fake out that Amoonguss, so Kyogre can come in pretty freely, but Davide might be 1 step ahead on this turn and switch that Incineroar back in to have his own fake out pressure to let Amoonguss to spore later on safely. This is like, we're not playing the actual turn, we are playing like 2 turns ahead.
Exactly, and that's one of the things Wolfe is so good at. Particularly as he has the fake out pressure there at the moment, he could target down into that Amoonguss and keep shutting it down. As well, Togedemaru, we know it's got access to Super Fang, so it can deal a huge amount of damage to either Amoonguss or the Groudon, which potentially in a couple of turns could be really crucial. Incineroar was targeting down that Amoonguss, just really stopping it from going for any action. Togedemaru as well actually doesn't want to play in this particular game, just wants to shoot right back to his trainer and give Wolfe the option to, like you said, maybe bring in that Kyogre again and get the weather up. But Davide switching out his Groudon might have been a really good play then, predicting that the rain was going to come back into action.
I really like that play. But I think although Groudon is in the back, Wolfe got now one of those turns where he has to decide, do I go on the offensive route, like he could maybe double up into the Amoonguss, but Amoonguss could potentially switch out into Incineroar. Seeing this, we could Incineroar's on the Fizzor into the Groudon, but then Groudon takes a low amount of damage, as we've seen. Ice Beam does run like 1/3 or something.
Yeah, it does a good chunk. But of course, Davide does have the fake out now from that Incineroar, so Wolfe very, very wisely just going for the double protect here.
I can see what he's doing here. And no switch from Davide at all. Amoonguss just trying to spore the slower Incineroar, and after Incineroar now used to protect that Amoonguss would again be free to spore something if it wants to take a water spell, but Davide can at every time switch in that Groudon instead of the Incineroar, the fake up pressure for back. Like, this is really interesting, and there we go. Kyogre switches out for Wolfe, and Togedemaru again, another fake out user coming back in.
Switches right back in. I like that play though, because you're leaving the Incineroar on Wolfe's side in the rain. It can't do any fire type moves, and that's something you need to target down the Amoonguss with, just to get it off the field, stop it using any spore or any redirection. So not only if you maybe thought that the Groudon was going to switch in, that obviously brings the stun, but Amoonguss, of course, super, super speedy, targeting down into that little Togedemaru, but this does leave it free and exposed for that Incineroar to go for something like a Flare Blitz, but no, even though Wolfe switched out the Kyogre and took away that weather, Amoonguss is going to still be on the field here, as the Incineroar will go back to Wolfe, and I think that's quite risky considering how fast we know this Amoonguss to be, and the last thing Wolfe wants to do is be in a position where he's constantly being shut down because he's asleep.
Yeah, and this is actually what's happening at the moment. Although Wolfe got the weather up, now Davide is still free to use Spore into that Kyogre, so Kyogre might protect, but then on this turn, Davide is probably switching out the Groudon, preserving the weather, and this is where Wolfe starts losing more momentum. Then he's already one turn behind of Davide. Davide is playing it really clever. That speedy Amoonguss is coming in really clutch.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's something that I think before this tournament we maybe saw a couple of times. People maybe trying it out, but it has proven to be so strong, and definitely a really good call for this particular game at the moment. He's able to put a lot of pressure onto Wolfe. Like you said though, Sebi, that Groudon very likely to switch out just to keep it in the back for later, bring the sunshine, and Xerneas is joining the field actually for Davide here. Doesn't have to worry about that Togedemaru going for anything at it at the moment. It is taking a nap, and Amoonguss does have to take the Ice Beam though, is able to survive, no freeze or anything, so can get a Spore back onto that Kyogre, and you can just see how this game is starting to pan out for Davide. Unless Wolfe is able to start waking up and starting getting some damage on the board, Davide is going to be free to keep sporing, set up Geomancy, and then just keep sweeping through the rest of Wolfe's team.
Now, Davide put himself in a really good position by always applying real pressure with that Amoonguss onto both fake out users from Wolfe. He basically took away the control Wolfe usually wants to have, and now both Pokemon are asleep. Wolfe is forced to keep Kyogre in the back just to shut down those really strong eruptions, and let's have a look. Bronzong was in the back.
Yeah, Bronzong, good Pokemon to bring in while you've got Xerneas on the field. Amoonguss actually going to jump right back out as Incineroar jumps in. Obviously, the Intimidate here going to be really critical against that Bronzong and will apply a lot of pressure with all those Dark type moves. We've seen how much damage it can do to that Bronzong. Togedemaru, though, wakes up, goes for the U-turn into the Incineroar, so it goes jump into the back for Wolfe. May be able to bring in the Incineroar now as well, so he can fake out that Xerneas and stop any Geomancy.
Yeah, but this is where it starts, like where you start taking damage and damage and damage. Kyogre is still asleep. sleep. Kyogre is basically the only Pokemon being able to take out the Groudon. But Groudon is still in the back, and Wolfe has to deal with Xerneas first, and then Groudon later on. And this is where he might need too much of resources just to be able to take out the Xerneas, not being able to take out the Groudon later on anymore.
Exactly, Xerneas here getting all of its boosts up, and that is something very scary for Wolfe at the moment if he's unable to counteract it in any way. Getting its speed, special defense, and special attack all boosted up. But now you've got these two Incineroars on the field as well. We've got a lot of the fake up pressure going on here. Yeah. So it's all going to come down to maybe which Incineroar is going to be faster. Whether you can, if they're going to go into each other and sort of negate the fake out, allowing Xerneas to maybe get off some good damage. But at the same time, you want to be able to stop that Bronzong from going for anything like a Trick Room. Yeah,
that Bronzong can fire back with some like hypnosis later on after the setup. But that's where Davide wants to target down the Bronzong, because this is what could help Wolfe in the end. Like if he manages to get that Trick Room up, to get some hypnosis, to get those sleeping turns on Davide's side of the field, and that's why Davide goes for the fake out into the Bronzong.
Yeah, they just sort of trade them across it, except that one went into the Incineroar, leaving Xerneas free to go for, I think it was a Dazzling Gleam there it was, doing a little bit of damage to the Bronzong, but again, both these Pokemon still surviving on here, but a good call there from Davide.
Yeah, this was a really good call. Wolfe knew he had to win the fake out fight, and he unluckily didn't do it. He's still trying to win this game, like bringing in a full half Togedemaru, what I think is an assault boost, as we will see from the damage. But Incineroar goes down. This is where it starts. Like the first fake out user is down, Kyogre is asleep, and we do see a C-move come in, Lou.
Yeah, it's almost like the first stone that's falling down the hill, and it's going to become a boulder at the moment. The Incineroar has been KO'd on Wolfe's side, but the Incineroar on Davide's side still here, ready for the action, using its malicious Moonsault Z-move into that little Togedemaru that's jumped into the action. Of course, like you can see from the Assault Vest, it didn't do a lot of damage from the Dazzling Gleam, but this is certainly going to be a lot more powerful. And poor Togedemaru leaves the field as quickly as he has joined. You can see all the reactions from the crowd here as well. Like the Italian crowd at the moment are very, very electric, but Davide's put himself in such a strong position now.
Yeah, he really made use of what to shut down to win against Wolfe. Basically, he didn't shut down all the attacking Pokemon, he shut down the support Pokemon by putting them asleep and denying Wolfe to put that constant fake out pressure on the board, and I really like what Davide did there.
I like as well with the Dazzling Gleam, the damage on that Bronzong. It's putting it a little bit more in range from the Dark type moves coming up from this Incineroar. If it goes for like a Darkest Lariat, where we saw previously when Bronzong had the Eruption, hit it, it did just about that amount of damage, maybe a little smidgen more, but the Darkest Lariat was able to pick up the rest of the KO, and particularly with this Moonblast, this poor Bronzong, if it gets doubled up into, it's going to be KO'd at the end of this turn. Kyogre unable to help out its buddy, as it has still got sleep in its eyes, as Incineroar going for that Darkest Lariat, targeting down into the Bronzong, and Wolfe is going to be left with just his Kyogre left on the field, and Davide still got that Groudon in the back. Yeah,
this basically means Wolfe can only use Ice Beam when Davide thinks to switch in their Groudon, and he still got that boosted Xerneas. This was, to be honest, a really clean game thanks to that Amoonguss. Like, this was key to victory for Davide, I guess. Yeah, that Amoonguss was absolutely critical, just putting Wolfe's Pokemon to sleep. We've spoken so much about Tapu Fini in this tournament, but there is none at the moment for Wolfe. You can see how calm as well Davide is. He knows his heart must be beating in his chest right now. He knows that he is just moments away from getting himself into the grand finals here at the European International Championships. Kyogre does take a special attack drop, but at the moment it really doesn't matter too much. Even if he's able to go for those Ice Beams, he can't get a freeze due to the sunshine, and it's just not going to be enough. You can't double target with that move. But Davide still staying so composed. Wolfe extends out his hand. We have the handshake, and it is an all-Italian final here at the European International Championships. Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd, ladies and gentlemen.
They've really got behind Davide in this game. You can hear them cheering, and rightly so. He played so well, Semi.
Yeah, he did that. He exactly knew what to do. Like, he had a really fixed game plan. He knew, if I put his fake out users asleep, if I can preserve the ground,